Hello, everybody. My name is Akhtar. I'm an associate professor in the Molecular and Cellular Biology department here at the University of Guelph. And I'm going to be teaching the first half of this course, Botany 2100, the life strategies of plants, for the first few weeks. We're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of plants, how plants evolved from their algal ancestors into the massive plants that we encounter in everyday life. We're going to go through reproductive strategies that plants employ to go from seed to seed. And we're going to take a great look at fruits, flowers, germination strategies of plants, and so on and so forth. The second half of the course will be taught by Ian Tetlow, who will speak to that right now. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Ian Tetlow. I'll be taking over after the midterm, which is about halfway through this course after Dr. Akhtar. The course is split in a very, we think, logical way. One dealing with more botanical and physiological aspects of plants, and the second more on processes. So in the second half, I'll be teaching processes, fundamental processes such as photosynthesis, nitrogen acquisition, and water movement in plants, and carbohydrate movement and mobilization in plants. And that works well because many of the parts of the course in the first half of the course have been dealt with, really set you up for that and align well with the second half of the course. In terms of teaching the course, obviously we're now teaching this on remotely, which is a first for all of us, so you have to bear with us a little bit. Things are going to be a little bit more complex than they have been for us anyway, presenting the course material. What our plan is to do this remotely via presenting lecture notes, which we normally do anyway on CourseLink, but also during the set lecture periods, we will both separately and at different times when we're actually presenting the half of the course, give an overview of each lecture during that period. It won't be a full lecture, but it will be an overview, a synopsis, an overview of the lecture material, and that will give all of you ample opportunity to join in. We'll make this a two-way part of a lecture, such that you can ask questions and make comments and so forth. So after the lecture notes will be presented remotely, but I will go over each lecture during the lecture period briefly, maybe 15-20 minutes, and then have the remaining period, which is about an hour and a half, for discussion, if there's any discussion. The main point is we're all going to feel a little isolated, and I think the main point we want to get across is that we're going to make ourselves as available as possible, not just via email, but meetings like the lectures, Teams meetings, and so forth. But we're very cognizant that everybody feels a little isolated. But do reach out in any way, shape, or form, and you should have means of getting in contact with us through the course outline. I think that's all I need to say. I'll just pass myself over to Dr. Chris Meyer, who will be dealing with the laboratory component of the course, and has done for many years as well.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I'm Chris Meyer, and I am the lab coordinator for this course, Life Strategies of Plants. And it is an unusual situation, I must say, for all of us involved here. This will be the first time that we have offered the laboratory in a remote setting. Typically, it's offered in person in a teaching lab on the university campus, and it's just simply not safe to do that in this coming semester. So what we have done is we've created a real engaging, thought-provoking experience. It will match the academic rigor that the in-person lab experience has. Of course, there won't be the experiments, that you won't be able to do any hands-on experiments, but you will be able nonetheless to deeply understand how those experiments are all conducted. For example, we have videotaped ourselves, myself and the graduate teaching assistants have videotaped ourselves doing experiments, the experiments that you would normally do in the lab. So you get that experimental context of how experiments are run typically, and how data sets are collected. And many of those data sets we will give to you during the lab period. You'll take those data sets, do various analyses with them, and complete lab reports based on many of those different data sets. So the way that we have structured the laboratory for this coming semester is in modules. And there are 4 main modules for the whole laboratory schedule. And each module encompasses a very large topic in plant biology. So every module, every major topic will have multiple laboratory periods associated with it. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3 or 4 laboratory periods. The laboratory notes associated with each of those periods, we will post them to CourseLink where you can download them. But we will also host live discussions of laboratory content every week during the typical laboratory period time. So that's your opportunity to talk live with myself and the graduate teaching assistants about laboratory content. It also is a great opportunity to engage with the wider community, so that being your peers and other interested people who are interested in the plant sciences. It also gives you an opportunity to work on assignments and lab reports. So you can ask us questions, lots of questions about the upcoming due dates and lab report content. So then you know that you're on the right track. I think the laboratory component is worth 35% of your total grade. And it really syncs nicely with the lecture content as well. That's something that we really prided ourselves on with this course, is that you will often learn a lot of information in the lecture. It's very valuable. And then we often apply that information in the laboratory period. Because you're not doing in-person laboratory experiments, we have come up with a few innovative solutions. For example, we have identified some experimental simulations that we will provide for you. So that will give you a chance to try out an experiment, of course, in a simulated way. But oftentimes by doing a simulation, it allows you to do a lot more replicates or to change many more variables than we would have time for in the in-person lab. We also have these videos of us doing experiments, and interestingly, we have pop-up quizzes that we have embedded within the videos. So as you're watching the video, periodically a quiz will pop up just to test your knowledge and to make sure that you're on the right track. So that is a great way to engage and to actively learn as you are watching these videos for the laboratory content.
Okay, so as far as the assessment for you in this course, there's going to be 3 separate modules. The first one will be the midterm examination. The second one will be the final examination, and of course there'll be a laboratory component with which Chris Meyer will talk to you a little bit more about. As far as the distribution, the midterm examination will be worth 30% of your final grade, and the final exam will be worth 35% of your final grade. These examinations will be administered via CourseLink, via the browser lockdown or Respondus program, which many of you have probably already had some experience with.
And on the laboratory end with the lab reports, so we have 4 modules throughout the semester, and there is 1 lab report associated with every module. The first couple modules, the grade weighting for those will be a little bit lower than the second half of the course, or the modules 3 and 4. So we are still working out the details on the exact grade breakdown, but just rest assured that the first couple lab reports for the first 2 modules will be weighted appropriately. And the second 2 modules, there'll be more content involved. There'll be more input required on your part as a student. And so we will grade those appropriately as well.
So regarding additional course materials, everything that you're going to need to know for the midterm, the final examination, and for the laboratory component of this course will be posted on CourseLink via the course notes. So there won't be any need for a textbook as we've normally used in the past. All material that you'll be responsible for will be coming directly from the course notes, which will be again posted on CourseLink.
For the laboratory manual, we have a number of notes that will be available as PDFs that you can download through the CourseLink webpage. There's nothing extra that you'll need to purchase for the laboratory. There's no other manuals or textbooks that are necessary, or laboratory equipment for that matter. Everything will be available for the lab through the CourseLink website. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone online this coming semester. It's going to be a very different experience for everyone, but hopefully it'll be a very rewarding, challenging, and thought-provoking experience for everyone as well. Looking forward to it.
I share the enthusiasm of my colleagues. I think this is going to be a tremendous learning opportunity. In fact, if you look at it, we're going to actually be spending more time with you one-on-one via remote learning than we would actually in the classroom. So it's a great opportunity, and we all look forward to participating in it. We'll see you in the fall. Bye for now.